Hey, future real estate moguls, catch the wave of innovation in real estate development. Join us as we explore the transformative power of adaptive reuse and sustainability, reshaping commercial properties into vibrant, eco-friendly housing solutions. From repurposing historic landmarks to revitalizing abandoned structures, discovered how forward-thinking developers are breathing new life into old spaces while championing environmental conversation. Don't miss out on this inspiring journey towards sustainable urban living. Tune in now and witness the future of real estate unfold. But first, hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so this content will be shared with others and you get notified each time I post content. I'm Dr. Brown, and I have 13 years experience in real estate investing. And last year, my company did $953,900 in real estate. Today, we are unlocking the key to adaptive reuse and reshaping commercial properties into vibrant, eco-friendly housing solutions. Let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are going to get started from the beginning. Adaptive reuse and sustainability in commercial real estate. Is it worth it? What does adaptive reuse and sustainability in commercial real estate mean? It means repurposing existing commercial real estate structures into housing rather than demolishing and building a new commercial structure. So we're going to look at 4 advantages of adaptive reuse and sustainability. The first one is preservation of historic buildings. Adaptive reuse allows for the preservation of historic buildings, maintaining their cultural and agricultural significance while repurposing them for modern use. This can contribute to the character and identity of neighborhoods and cities. And cost savings. Retrofitting existing buildings for new uses can often be more cost-effective than constructing new buildings from scratch. This can result in lower development costs and shorter project timelines, especially if the existing structure is structurally sound and requires minimal modifications. If you use an existing structure and you do not have to make all of the external structures or external modifications, is what I'm trying to say. If you don't have to make all of the external modifications on the building, then that's going to be a great cost saver, because you only really have to do the cosmetics and what is required on the inside as far as electrical, plumbing, whatever other modifications you need to do in order to make this a livable structure. 2 more advantages are flexibility and creativity. Adaptive reuse offers opportunities for creative design solutions and innovative use of space. Developers can leverage the unique features of existing buildings to create distinctive and memorable environments that appeal to tenants and customers. And community engagement. Repurposing existing buildings can foster community engagement and revitalization by transforming vacant or blighted properties into vibrant, active spaces. Adaptive reuse projects often involve input from local stakeholders and contribute to the social and economic vibrancy of neighborhoods. So this is like when we talked about gentrification in the last video. This is like a bittersweet project, because once this project is complete, some of the people who are normally a part of this community might be displaced because the property values are going to go up, and also a better quality of tenant is going to be moving in. So with the local stakeholders being a part of it, a lot of times this is also an advantage, because you're not going to get as much pushback as if they are not on board with this new project. So we're going to look at 4 disadvantages as well. So structural limitations is the first disadvantage. Older buildings may have structural limitations or deficiencies that require costly repairs or upgrades to meet current building codes and safety standards. Retrofitting such buildings can be challenging and may require extensive engineering and construction work. So this is like on the flip side. If the structural part of the building is old and has lots of limitations and deficiencies, and it requires lots of costly repairs, then you are going to probably break the budget and need to move on. Because if the building is too old for you to reuse and reuse this project um, with um, a reasonable budget, then this is not going to be a building that you're going to be able um, to adapt to housing, affordable housing, or any other kind of housing. If you have to do so much repair work on the outside and on the inside, that's going to break your budget. So in that case, you would need to move on. Regulatory hurdles. Adaptive reuse projects may encounter regulatory hurdles, zoning restrictions, and permitting challenges. Converting buildings to new uses often require approvals from local authorities and historic preservation boards, who can delay project timelines and increase costs. So this is what I was talking about when I said if the local stakeholders are not on board, then they can delay your permits that you need in order to repurpose this building. And sometimes because people want the building to remain vacant because of the historical factors of the building, then you may have some people out there boycotting because they don't want you to repurpose the building. They just want it to remain the same in that neighborhood, even though repurposing the building would increase or enhance that community and neighborhood. And the last two disadvantages is limited flexibility. Existing buildings may have limitations in terms of layout, floor plate size, and ceiling heights, which can restrict the types of uses and tenants that the building can accommodate. Developers must carefully evaluate the suitability of the existing structure for the intended use. If the building does not conform or is not conducive to what you are trying to do, your intended use for the building, then again, this is the time for you to go and look for a different building, because you want a building that is going to be within budget, and you also want a building that is going to be conducive and be able to accommodate the people that you are trying to put in there. And the last disadvantage is risk of unforeseen conditions. Adaptive reuse projects may encounter unforeseen conditions during construction, such as hidden structural damage, environmental contamination, or hazardous materials. Developers should conduct thorough due diligence and site assessment to identify and mitigate potential risks. So you want to make sure that outside of the building there is no environmental contamination, and inside of the building there are no hazardous materials such as asbestos or something like that that could cause cancer to the tenants who are living there. So you just want to make sure that you do the due diligence and the site assessments necessary, because they will catch these types of things in the inspection process. So it's critical that you do the due diligence, because it could really be detrimental if you go ahead with the building and it has these hazardous materials inside of it or some kind of environmental contamination. So in summary, overall, adaptive reuse and sustainability offer numerous advantages in commercial real estate. Developers must carefully evaluate the challenges and risks associated with repurposing existing buildings to ensure the success of their projects. Effective planning, collaboration with stakeholders, and adherence to best practices in sustainable design and construction are essential to maximizing the benefits of adaptive reuse while minimizing potential drawbacks. So you just want to make sure that you have your exit strategy in place, which means that you know what you're trying to do from and know the end from the beginning. You want to make sure that you do your due diligence, and you just want to make sure that you do careful planning when you are trying to do adaptive reuse and repurposing of commercial real estate. So you just really need to be savvy at your research, your market research, and just make sure that you dot all the I's and cross all the T's, make sure everything is complete. So now what I would like to do is stop sharing this, and we're going to actually look at some successful repurposed commercial buildings that were repurposed for affordable housing or mixed income housing. So I'm going to stop sharing here. And we are going to look at JP Morgan and Chase, adapt, reuse, reside, affordable housing. So this is an article that talks about how there are some developers who have adapted hotel, schools, and community centers into affordable homes. And this is helping to combat the country's housing crisis. And these spaces are usually adaptable because they have the large windows, the high ceilings that make for very nice apartments, plus other spaces such as auditoriums, gymnasiums, or warehouse floors that work well for community gathering and amenity space. So this first one is a Coca-Cola bottling plant, which they have been able to repurpose this bottling plant into 40 units. And they have been able to make this into affordable housing designed for artists with amenities including shared art studios, art galleries, picnic areas, and community gardens. Now, this project cost about $600,000, and they were able to make it into 40 affordable housing units. And this was back in 2018. And the next property is Coolidge Park Apartments. This was actually a community school, and they were able, this is in Flint, Michigan, and they were able to make 54 mixed income affordable rental apartments out of this building, and it cost $9.4 million. And this was back in 2011. That's when the school actually closed. And the next one is a hotel. This is in New York City, and they were able to make 305 units out of this old hotel. And this hotel has a lot of affordable housing in here. It says it's soon to be affordable service-enriched apartment community featuring 134 fully independent studios for the formerly homeless. So not only is this affordable housing, but it's also helping to eradicate homelessness. And then we have a church, and this church is in Fort Worth, Texas, and they have 91 units, mixed income in this one church. And then the last one is a repurposed YMCA building, and this is for residents age 55 and older. And they were able to create 44 units out of this former YMCA. And this YMCA actually has a lot of amenities already included in the building, such as a gym, a pool, also an exercise room. So some of these commercial buildings already have some of the amenities in there that you would need for tenants to live there comfortably. So I just really wanted to show you some of the reused commercial buildings that are successfully housing some of our low income and intermediate or middle income residents. So that's all I have for you all today. I just wanted to bring this real estate strategy to the forefront, because in today's climate where there's a lot of vacant commercial buildings, a lot of these buildings are probably going to be coming up for auction pretty soon because there's no one in the building. And when there's no one in the building, who's making the mortgage payment? So a lot of these properties are going to be coming up at very reasonable prices. And this is a strategy that you could use to get a big bang for your buck. So if you found a lot of value in this video, please give it a like, and please subscribe and share this video. And I will see you on the next one. I'll talk with you later. Goodbye.